Hi guys, welcome to this new video. Today I wanted to go over some of the mistakes and inaccuracies that I've seen recently in French books, because whenever I do, I can tell you that I see a mistake or an inaccuracy, something really old-fashioned and plain wrong on almost every single page, sometimes several on every page, which is the reason why you should stick to Language City, this channel, the course, to make sure you learn French properly. Okay, so here's the first example that I saw recently. That's a famous university. I'm not gonna name names, but it's a famous American university in their French program. Here's what they wrote in an exercise. And I want you to keep something. Not only does the sentence hardly make any sense at all to begin with, but that's another story, but the use of the verb employer. I say the verb employer all the time. Please, don't use that verb. Please, make sure you do not use that verb. You just don't use it, or it's misused. In all those books, it's really misused. I want you to instead use the verb utiliser for to use, okay? We use the verb utiliser. Super simple. Utiliser. So all these books, if the editors are watching, you should get rid of the verb employer, okay? I have to say, okay, there's one instance in which you will use employer, the French will use employer. It's about using a word or using an expression. Then it's fine. You can still use utiliser, so it's safer to use utiliser. But you will hear me or other people use employer only to use a word or an expression, talking about languages, okay? So employer is fine in that sense. But, you know, I use a fork and a knife, j'emploie. I've heard people say that, I've seen books use that. It's completely wrong. That one is plain wrong. You don't emploie une fourchette ou un couteau. On utilise une fourchette ou un couteau. I just wanted to show you that one because I think it's just weird. It was a part of a test. And it's, nous nettoyons les salles de bain. I mean, usually, you know, if you talk about bathrooms, really, if there are several bathrooms, but in French houses, usually you just have one. So that's why it just looks weird. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but it looks weird for a French person, okay? So again, from that same university, here's that twisted question that came up. Quel est l'âge optimal pour un élève de choisir sa filière? If you have any French native speaker read that sentence, he will laugh. It hardly makes any sense. It's not French. It's not de choisir sa filière, it's pour choisir. In order to choose, pour choisir une filière. Une filière, when you're in high school in France, it's about choosing what kind of section, specialty, or major you're gonna choose, starting in 11th grade for the American system. Okay, so we can choose usually to go towards a scientific path, economics path, or a literature, French languages path. Okay. But we would never talk about l'âge optimal. It doesn't make any sense. Le meilleur âge, okay? Not l'âge optimal. It makes no sense, really. Here's another one that's interesting. I made a video, you can click here to watch it, about to pass an exam. And I told you that we don't say whatever verb it was, that you can watch the video, whatever verb they teach you in books. Réussir, yeah, réussir. We just say, I have it, je l'ai. Okay, so I talked about that. Watch that video right here. And here they talk about être reçu dans une bonne université in the sense to be accepted. No, that doesn't make any sense. However, I was trying to think because it sounded like it could be right, but I was thinking, no. Être reçu is an old-fashioned way of saying that you pass an exam. Être reçu. Okay, être reçu au bac, that means you pass the bac. It's a bit old-fashioned. We're not going to really use it much anymore. But that's what it means. It's not about being accepted in a university, okay? That would be être accepté, simply. Why make things harder than they should be? Okay, French is hard enough already. Okay, we don't need to make it any harder. Here again, it looks small, but take a look at this. Ne payez pas autant pour les marques populaires. It really definitely sounds like a foreigner wrote that sentence. And it's bad because, again, it's from an American university. It shouldn't be that way. Okay? It's not les marques populaires. It means like it's the popular brands, like it's defined. No, we would never say that. We say pour des marques populaires. Don't pay so much for popular brand names. Okay? Pour des marques populaires, not les marques populaires. And this is a very interesting one. This is a mistake that most English speakers will make, and I would forgive anyone, but not a university that's supposed to teach you French, okay? In English, when you talk about going to a place, and you say, oh, I'm going to, oh, I went last year. In French, you have to add there. The there will be translated by I, okay? So, oh, I went there last year. J'y suis allé l'année dernière. Oh, I'm going to the party. Oh, I'm going to. We have to say, oh, I'm going there too. So we have to say, j'y vais aussi. If you don't put that I, which means there, it's going to sound like it's an incomplete sentence, okay? It's going to sound like it's an incomplete sentence. It's going to sound like, oh, I'm going where? Finish your sentence, okay? So that's what they did here. Cédric ne veut pas aller avec elle. I'm sorry, it sounds like an incomplete sentence for a native speaker. Il ne veut pas aller avec elle. where. Okay, il ne veut pas y aller avec elle. All right. So again, if you say I'm going there, j'y vais. I'm going there. All right. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please post them below, and don't forget to go to the description to download the app and visit the website. The link is in the description, and you can subscribe monthly or purchase the whole thing. And I'll see you soon at Language City, and you'll see what it's like to speak like a native. À bientôt. Salut.